You ever just want to go explore some shit? You ever just, like, want to go see some shit? Well, we as humans crave the excitement that travel brings us. Should it be one of those videos where I go like, if we want to know how we got here, we have to go back to where it all started. Yeah, no, we don't do that here. I could go into circles all day about the history, but we already know the basic poops of travel. You got a bus, airplane, train, car, boat, legs? I think that's all of them. All throughout the Americas, we can take buses at long distances, which will probably save you money if you were going from, like, Rhode Island to New York City. But the United States is so behind when it comes to railways, so we just burn jet fuel around the clock. Over in Europe, you could take a bullet train from Germany to France in a couple hours. Wait, what the fuck? Google. There is no way that you're going to tell me that there's no train that can do this. That's what I thought. This is also what I imagined it would look like in the US. Google, which has the entire planet mapped out with every pixel, is telling me that there is no other way to get from Germany to France by train. I'll cut him a break today. It seems like he's still learning. In the United States, if you want to get from one side to the other, you gotta fly there. We don't have a railway that could take us throughout all 50 states, so we all just vomit loads of cash just to fly around our own country. Seriously, just do a cost breakdown of flights. You can see how insano it really is. Don't even get me started on travel insurance. Okay, I'm started on this. A travel insurance agency guarantees that if you meet their list of reasons you'd miss your flight, that you'll get a full refund from your ticket. With that being said, they still request proof that you can't make it and have that proof reviewed, which can take up to 10 days apparently. If you fit the criteria of being sick, getting into a freak accident, or if you just die, they'll still ask for some proof that you died, or died in a freak accident, and that you would like a refund. To that, they'd say, "No problem. Just send us a PDF of your will and a picture of your gravestone. Then one of our expert analysts will verify that you did in fact die and can't make your flight." Oh my god. You know what would be the biggest plot twist? The claimant on the phone is just like, "Here's my proof," and just shows their ticket as proof that their connecting flight lost a door. There are so many airlines to choose from. There are so many out there that I would not have time to make a tier list for all of them. But we can break down the most popular if you so please. My first flight experience was with Delta back when I went to Disney in 2013. Solid experience. Just expect to kiss your wallet goodbye and keep an eye out in the aisles. Things get a little quirky at night. Other than that, it's still a normal and safe bet. United Airlines. I'm not sure what I can say about this other than that there's nothing in particular that's good nor bad. It's just normal. I imagine the flight crew just looks like this. American Airlines. I'll let the internet speak on this one. Southwest is probably as American as it gets. They have a unique take on seating arrangements. Personally, I haven't had an issue with them. On a recent flight back from Denver, Colorado, we took Southwest. I'm not telling you where my home city is. Not yet. But here's the best part. We thought that being the first group to claim seats was a better idea than cheaping out on last group's seats. Golly gee, I was wrong. Apparently everyone who flies on Southwest is allergic to each other, so after the majority of passengers spread out, we were left with one open seat in every front row. Solid airline, and I'll sum it up with 2 photos. Qantas. Fly with the spirit of Australia, mate. In that case, I better be getting the full experience with koalas on board, and the flight crew calling me a cunt. Solid airline, I'm sure. Virgin Airlines? I mean, I think it's just plain white bread as well. Spirit Airlines is perfect if you're on a budget. JetBlue. I love JetBlue. Give me a smooch, JetBlue. You can never go wrong with these bad boys. You know how every other airline advertises free Wi-Fi, and then in microscopic letters below, it'll say something like, with a premium account subscription or some shit? Yeah, JetBlue doesn't do that. It's included with your ticket. Imagine that. What I can't imagine is the type of person that would actually pay for it. Or maybe I can. JetBlue is just an easy choice. S tier. Here are some other international airlines that you may have taken that I don't care about because I'm from the USA, baby. On the day of your flight, it's typically best to arrive a couple hours before you board your flight since you gotta go through the trenches. And by that, I mean TSA. If you're like my parents and are constantly in a state of panic to catch your flight, it's probably best to show up 24 hours in advance just to be absolutely sure that you won't miss anything. In the security checkpoint, you'll need to remove your clothes, your electronics, and metal implants. An agent will ask for a legal ID. Depending on where you're going, you may be required to have a passport. Even if you're smuggling contraband across the border, a passport will ensure you are legally allowed to enter another country. For every ID that I've ever owned, I never smile. I kind of look like an international criminal. You see this face? This is happy. This is what happiness looks like. You just don't want to show it because most people that check your ID have a default resting bitch face while they look you up and down. If anything, smiling on your ID just makes your hidden past look obvious. Your luggage goes through X-ray imaging to make sure you don't carry any of these. Your body also gets scanned. Well, that's interesting. Once you're through security, you'll probably be sitting at your gate for another hour plus, unless you decide to spend some extra coin at the restaurants. There's no better feeling than getting clapped on alcohol before your flight. I haven't done this, but I have gotten fossilized on a gummy edible just before my flight from LAX. I wouldn't recommend that. Assuming that this isn't Southwest, I prefer the window seat. My reptilian brain hears the and it's just music to my ears. Or maybe that's just the pressure change popping. If you like the aisle seat, I just know you got a squirrel bladder. I don't know, man. Some people just live for the mile-high piss. I like the free food and the free soda. Although, I get a bit nervous balancing my drink just before the turbulence kicks in. This is turbulence, by the way. This is your stomach on turbulence. Don't do turbulence. When you come in for landing, expect at least one little clap. One little round of applause to remind everyone that we all got to see another day, or something. It's this guy. He claps when the plane lands. You finally landed, but if you brought more than a backpack, you'll have to wait in the baggage claim. Then you gotta figure out how to get to your hotel/Airbnb stay. Commonly, if your stay is longer than a week, you might look into rental car options, or just Uber around until you make it to your hotel room. Speaking of which, you can also stay at an expensive resort or book a house. Have you ever been bombarded by Expedia or TripAdvisor ads on YouTube? Yeah, me too. Those are platforms built specifically for setting up both flights and hotels. Imagine pulling up to the resort or the hotel, and it's just a shack with a water slide. Assuming you didn't cheap out on your stay, also go in with the assumption that 1% of your friends actually have the time and money to do this. So if you have 10 friends, 1% is, Anyways, there's lots to do around the world in 80 days. Try new food, go boating, Relax on the beach, get stung on the beach, admire the architecture. But who says you gotta do everything in the heat? I discovered that there's this EDM festival in the Austrian Alps called snowbombing. If you like skiing, techno music, and psychedelics, this is right up your alley. If you're not into that, no problem. Get cozy in an igloo and experience Mother Nature's acid. Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
Yes.
Traveling doesn't have to be this complicated. I just love to overcomplicate explanations like this so that my homies know what's on my mind. Hi, bromies. Hi, bromines. Yeah, that's travel culture in a nutshell. Hopefully you learned something today. If not, you're good. I'll do the usual PNG outro.